It's a hockey night in Central Ohio, and here at Nationwide Arena tonight, the Blue Jackets take on the Ottawa Senators. The teams have split the first two games, and tonight Curtis McElhinney will make the start for the Blue Jackets. This will be his first start since the 11th of January in Winnipeg. He was the winning goaltender in a 6-3 victory over the Jets. And at the opposite end, Craig Anderson, 12 starts in his career against the Blue Jackets, 8-4 with a 2.52 goals against average and a .905 save percentage with one shutout. Our officials tonight, Brad Watson, Ian Walsh, the referees, Pierre Rasico, Andy McElman are the linesmen. Senators wearing their traveling whites, Jackets in their home blues. Tonight's telecast presented in high definition by Time Warner Cable. It will be Turris and Dubinsky for the opening faceoff. And we are underway here at Nationwide as the puck is shoveled back to the blue line. Played by Carlson. Sent off the wall. Unable to get a stick on it. There was MacArthur, and offside the call.
It's not many times where you start the game and the Jackets losing the draw, but Ottawa is in that frame of mind right now. Look at Jack Johnson. How about his game? He's starting to peak and playing well. He and Tootin back together again after Tootin had that illness. Good to see him back in the lineup.
Jack Johnson on to Dubinsky. It's sent off the wall. Atkinson scoots into the zone. Chopped towards the net. Anderson unable to get a stick on it. Anderson knocked out. Calvert in front. And walking it out there, Carlson before dishing the left wing for MacArthur. Turris, who had a pair of goals in a 6-3 loss at Carolina Saturday afternoon. Turris is red hot. He leads the Senators in plus-minus at a +19. Sends it ahead here to Carlson. Carlson with a long shot. Jackets block that. Picked up there by Turris. The one-time Phoenix Coyote up high. Lets it fly. Jackets block it. Anderson able to clear the zone. Cowan right back on it for Ottawa. Carries in and drills it wide of the net. R.J. Umberger off the bench. Umberger's backhand pass picked off by Cowan. Greiba hands it almost to Ryan Johansson, who is rather surprised and unable to get a stick on it. Left wing feed for McCulloch, dumped wide of the Jackets net, played here by Ryan Murray, who leads all rookie defensemen. 9 assists for the month of January. Hard pass there, Johansson for Nick Foligno. Foligno hitting a crossbar all around that net last night in Carolina, and he's looking to get on the score sheet for the first time in 8 games.
Today he is saying the right things, Jeff. He knows that he had an opportunity, but it went to the wayside.
Threw it across the line, Zibanejad. His pass knocked down. Quick shot. Able to recover. Here's an attempt that sails wide of the net. Played by Mark Mathot, the former Blue Jacket. Acquired in the trade that saw Foligno join these Columbus Blue Jackets. And certainly Mathot was in a situation last season where the Senators felt they got the better of the deal, but Foligno has come back this season and played superbly for Columbus.
Well, he really has. And Mathot has been even out of the lineup as a healthy scratch. Was paired with Carlson most of last year.
End result, both teams satisfied with the trade. And that's supposed to weigh. It is supposed to work. Up high, Cowan. Right side, Carlson. Long shot off the goaltender, McElhinney. Cowan pressured there by Horton. Jackets unable to clear. Chris Neal will sweep it behind the net. And there's Greening. Greening looking to walk out. Sends it up high here to Cowan. Cowan pressured. That's a delayed offside there. Senators will clear the zone. In fact, will change up here as we approach the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, the first 3 minutes right now, Ottawa has the first step. Jackets have to catch up, get their lines in order, and roll all 4.
Oh, time for tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer.
Well, get the chin up. Keep the feet moving. There's no time for self-pity. It's time to get a positive frame of mind. Come into your own building and show them. Finish opportunities. That's been the key the last couple of nights. Jackets have had great opportunities, but you cannot get into a situation with a 2-on-1 and you miss nets. It has to be better. And then need for D. And it starts tonight with Curtis McElhinney in the net. Big saves, and then everybody else should follow suit.
Senators pressure in the early going. Condra sends it back to the point. Long shot. Jackets block that. Senators right back on it. Laid along the near boards. Jackets attempt to get a stick on it, and Ottawa continue to pressure here. Knowing the Blue Jackets last night played in Carolina, traveled back, while they remain here in Columbus in their hotel rooms, the majority of them watching last night's game. 3.5 minutes gone. The fourth line out there here to create something. Como sends it back to Goluboff. Lets one fly, redirected off a stick, and played on the right wing boards and cleared to the Jackets line.
Good play there by Como. Again, seeing the ice. Goluboff smart enough, had the head up, didn't throw it into traffic, got the puck through and deep.
Jackets keeping the shift short. Weirkosh sends ahead here for Turris. The cross-ice pass gets away from MacArthur. Boone Jenner for Horton. Kept in. Here's Bobby Ryan with a shot. And it went off McElhinney from the left wing boards. MacArthur chops it towards the Jackets net. And away goes Jack Johnson. He'll lead the rush. He's got Anisimov and Horton with him. Johnson in deep. Fires a shot. Gloved by Anderson. And he will hold on. Well, Paul McLean, the very popular head coach of the Ottawa Senators, of course, a former assistant to Mike Babcock. We know him well from the Detroit-Columbus matchups. And tell you, the old Central Division, he's done a pretty good job here for this hockey club. Former Coach of the Year, Jack Adams Trophy winner, and rightfully so.
Yeah, one win in the last 5 games, but he says, you know, we've made up a lot of ground in the last month, but it still has to be better. We need more from our top players to be able to get things happening.
Smith on the left wing. That one goes off the mask of McElhinney. Matt Calvert, right wing feed. Picked up here by James Wisniewski. Wisniewski feeding it deep into the zone. Dubinsky hustles to it, throws it in front. Jackets. Wisniewski will let one fly, and that one is redirected off the Ottawa forward and right up out of play. How about the Elk injury report? And take a look at the man games lost.
The discrepancy, almost 200 man games lost, and David Savard back on the ice today. Not quite the strength to start in this game tonight. But again, the two coaches, the thing that Todd Richards is really happy for is the depth of this organization, and the players that come up, they fill the role very well.
R.J. Umberger's pass for Johansson cut off. McCulloch fans on his attempted pass. Foligno attempting to play that puck, and this is Cowan circling the net. Cowan with a long lead feed there from McCulloch that sailed the length of the ice, and it is icing. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's contest. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
There's a look at Nick Foligno. Nick Foligno, again, he is one guy that always has something to say, but it's in a positive vein. Good, bad, or indifferent, he takes the high road, certainly leading that room as far when it comes to having a voice.
Umberger pressuring. Foligno can't make a play. There's McCulloch sliding it across here for Spezza. The Ottawa captain. Left there. And the Jackets break it up. Long lead pass and a dandy from Umberger to Foligno. Trying to pull that trigger. It was blocked in front there by Carlson. McCulloch sends it to center. Spezza ahead here for Cowan. Off of skates. Zibanejad pressures. Jackets will play it.
What you'll see all night from the Ottawa Senators, the inclusion of their defense, and especially Carlson. People in this building have had a chance to see him once before, and he put on a clinic.
Green up high, spins, turns, fires a shot towards the net. Jackets collapse, are able to block it. Greening edges it off behind the net. Neal throws it in front off the goal stick there of McElhinney, who had the paddle down, and alertly so. Long shot there by Weirkosh. Jackets block that. Como stepping in front of it. Weirkosh gets it once more. Weirkosh's pass picked off. Jackets. McKenzie riding that 3-game goal scoring streak, a career high. Neal pushes McKenzie. No damage done there. 13:47 left opening period. No score from Nationwide. Jackets head coach Todd Richards getting, and rightfully so, some credit around the league for the coaching job that he has done for the Blue Jackets here. And his big thought last night post-game was, how do the Jackets respond? And he was asked this morning if the Blue Jackets need to bounce back tonight. And his answer rather emphatically, no, we have to bounce back tonight. Other teams will be picking up points. He pointed to the game, Bill. Detroit at Philadelphia. You're going to have at least a 2-point game there. You want to guard against a 3-point affair.
Yeah, he does not. He does not want to look at the standings. He says, I'll drive myself nuts if I continue to look at that. We just have to play our game and hope the best comes our way, but we have to control our own destiny.
Todd Richards scheduled to join us prior to the start of the second period. Upended there was Ryan Murray. Played by Anisimov, walks out, tries to stuff it home. Puck in the paint, and held there by Anderson. And now Boone Jenner pushing and shoving in front of the net. Separated, no damage done.
Almost 7 minutes gone here in period number 1. It's the first time the Jackets have had the puck below the goal line in the opposition end. And this is what you like to see. The big body of Anisimov. Again, he puts the nose down, starts to drive to the net in hopes of just creating a rebound. And if he gets lucky, maybe it does squeak by. But a good job right there from Big Artem.
6 minutes, 40 seconds gone here in the opening period. We talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Folks, the playoffs have started here. When you take a look at the conference standings and the division standings the Blue Jackets are in, you better believe each and every one of these games are playoff games, and the Jackets are going to be called here for a penalty. First power play.
Columbus, number 11, minor penalty holding.
A holding call against Matt Calvert. And the Senators, who are 11th in power play efficiency, will employ the power play for the first time tonight.
Yeah, he went down and just got railed, and the first thing that he did, he got right up, put his arms around Mark Mathot, and when Mark Mathot lost a stride, that's when the arm went up. So a minor penalty. Now you look at this line coming back out onto the ice with Turris, Mark MacArthur, Bobby Ryan. Look out.
MacArthur, 7 power play goals. What a season he is having. Up high, Bobby Ryan. On to Carlson. Carlson's had some success here. 3 goals, one of them a power play goal against the Blue Jackets in the previous 2 games.
Oh, this guy is one of the pure talents when it comes to defense. He can skate, and when he does skate, it's on top of the ice very effortlessly. And you can see what a job right there. Kyle Turris winning that faceoff, utilizing the feet, and then Carlson moves in his regular spot, back door on that right side as a right-handed shot.
Faceoff will come to the left of Curtis McElhinney. Jackets on the kill, 20th in the league at 80.2%. Jackets. Dubinsky, he's got a pair of shorthanded goals. On here to Anisimov. Cuts in. Fires a shot that's turned aside by Anderson. Artem Anisimov continues with that puck before dumping it behind. Anderson thought he had the puck, lost it. And fortunately for him, he was able to recover with some help from his defenseman. Jackets almost got a quick break there. This is Turris across the line. Spezza drops it back. Carlson ricochets off a leg and wide. Power play down to a minute 10. Loose puck. Jackets will clear between the 2 Ottawa defensemen. Actually, Bobby Ryan playing the point. And Carlson, who plays much of the power play, almost the full 2 minutes. Waits, shows patience, and now with 50 seconds left, feeds the head to McCulloch. Moving in, Senators backhand and score. The backhand shot beats McElhinney, and Ottawa with a power play goal take the 1-0 lead.
Well, again, they come across the line, and again, on that power play, the guys end up backing up, and it looks like a simple play through the middle of the ice. The puck begins to bounce. What does Lacoste do? He just basically throws a backhand at the net and hopes, and he had a lot of traffic in front of him. McElhinney unable to really see it, and it goes by him on that low stick side to make it a 1-0 game.
Not the way the Blue Jackets wanted to start this one. DaCosta with the goal. Left wing feed. Foligno pinned along the boards. The puck sent into the zone. Anderson plays it. This is Umberger. On for Ryan Johansson. Johansson cycling Umberger. R.J. Umberger chased by Mathot. Backhands. This one goes off the netting and out of play.
Well, Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. And remember, Nationwide is on your side.
DaCosta's goal is his first. Waiting for it officially. This is his 8th game with these Senators. Puck drop. Johansson cleanly wins the draw. Fired, but wide of the net by Wisniewski. Left wing McCulloch shovels it ahead. Wisniewski defense. Ryan Murray back into position. Off the wing. There's a shot that sails over top of the net. Another attempt here by Spezza. And McElhaney's got it. And he will hold on.
Now, how did that all start? Another missed shot by the Jackets. Go back to that Buffalo game in the number of attempts. And then the quick transition up through the neutral zone. McCulloch, he comes in, flips it towards the net, and then everybody's a flyby. Nobody had a chance to see where the puck actually went. So you got to come in, stop, maintain home base, which is the blue of the crease. Help your goaltender out.
Nikitin for Goluboff. Jackets in the neutral zone. Como sweeps it by the defenseman Wirkosh. Como had it knocked away far side. Played there by Condra. Assist to McCulloch and Carlson at 8:06. Costa's first. Jackets dish to the point. Goluboff off the wall. McKenzie to the point. Nikitin will let one fly, and that's deflected wide. Costa chops it to the right wing boards. Ceci backhanded ahead to Costa. Crushed legs come on for the Senators as we approach the midway point of this opening period. Bobby Ryan along the wall. Ryan trying to outbattle the Jackets. Anisimov gets a piece of the puck. Tries to clear the zone. Turris dumps it back deep into Jackets territory. Boone Jenner off the wall. No icing here and played by Craig Anderson. Left for Mark Mathai. The Ottawa native playing back home. A healthy scratch for several games. Talks about a possible trade. He said, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to remain a member of the Senators. MacArthur across the line. Turris in pursuit. Bobby Ryan out-muscled there by Anisimov. Horton goes right wing. MacArthur gets a stick on it at center. Jenner finishing a check. Mathot takes that hard pass, looks off Turris, deals to the right wing side. Now a pass to Turris at center. Turris fires off the pad of McElhaney, who came out, cut down the angle, up along the boards. Brandon Dubinsky fought off there, and Neal will send it deep. Crowd trying to encourage the Jackets here.
Right now, it is all Ottawa. Everything they're doing, their transition, their passing, they're on top of the play. Jackets have a little bit of a wake-up call here right now.
Puck knocked down with a high stick. That of Chris Neals. He's arguing the point, but to no avail. We'll be back.
Stéphane Da Costa, and he is from Paris, France, and at the age of 17 made his way over to North America. In fact, he went down to Texas and played in that North American Junior Hockey League for a year, then moved on to Sioux City, got a scholarship to Merrimack College, played there for 2 years, was basically the Hockey East Rookie of the Year, and signed as a free agent by Brian and Tim Murray. And I'll tell you what, everything you hear about this guy, he is the real deal. He's also got a couple of brothers. His dad is French. His mother is Polish. He's got a brother that's playing for the Polish national team, and his other brother is back in France playing for the French national team.
Looks like he's about 12 years old.
Does he not?
And when you think in terms of all the young players that this team has, as Ryan Johansson carries in, settles it down. Out. Cutting off the angle, making the stop is Anderson. But Tim Murray, who we had a chance to visit with in that Buffalo game, man responsible for a lot of these draft picks and some pretty impressive kids at that.
Now, you take a look at Johansson coming across. He's got a 2-on-1, and watch the bouncing puck. Right here, as he starts to pull it back, it begins to roll on him. Very difficult to control, but a smart play by Johansson. Get it to the net. You never know.
This is the line the Jackets need to get on track here. Dubinsky, Calvert, and Atkinson. In particular, the wingers have been struggling. Atkinson got 1 point in his last 5 games, and that's an assist. Atkinson hustles to it, gets it to Calvert. Dubinsky moves it along, but Neal is there, and Neal walks it out of the zone. Atkinson had it briefly. Left wing pass there for Smith, sails deep into the zone, and played there by James Wisniewski. Wisniewski unable to clear. Here's a shot from the point, sailing over top of the net on the deflection. Greening finishing a check. Stepping up there is Mathai. Senators send it back to Smith. Right point. Gryba on to Greeny. Gryba again with a shot. It's blocked. Atkinson comes up with it. Outlet pass there, missing Dubinsky, and it's icing.
Jackets fans, get down to the R-Bar in the Arena District this Saturday at 6 and test your Blue Jackets knowledge. You get a chance to win some great prizes. Plus, you can be featured on Blue Jackets Live after an upcoming game on Fox Sports Ohio. Be part of the fun. That's at the R-Bar this Saturday at 6.
Dubinsky wins the face-off, although the puck was left in the circle, and that quick shot turned aside by McElhinney. Right wing Atkinson skates to center, will dump in. Jackets will get the fresh legs on it. And out comes the Anisimov line.
Well, they got to get things going here right now. They got to start buying into what's happening. The legs are not moving. They're not involved whatsoever.
From the point, shot ricochets off the pad of McElhinney. Turris into the slot. Quick shot. Bobby Ryan got a piece of that and sent it wide. Carlson now answers at the blue line. Sends it ahead. Jack Johnson away from Turris. Right side. Horton backhands a pass to Anisimov. It goes off Ryan. And Callan will dump back in. Tootin and Jack Johnson paired to the point. Senators change things up as the Jackets move out of the zone, and it's Horton at center. Nathan Horton trying to squeeze out along the wall. There's Letestu sending it deep. Matt Calvert now. Calvert, Letestu, and Horton. Jackets. Horton races off to the bench. Como comes on. Calvert cycles out. Calvert with a shot. And that one deflected right up into the glove of Anderson, who just put the mitt up and was able to slow play down as he holds on.
Well, the Jackets are at home again at Nationwide Arena this Thursday, January the 30th. They'll take on the Washington Capitals, 7 o'clock game. Then again, they'll face the Florida Panthers. That's Saturday night, February the 1st, also at 7. And all fans will receive a T-shirt, compliments of Fox Sports Ohio. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com or via the Blue Jackets mobile app.
Now we're going to see some line changes here as the Jackets look to get something going. Matt Calvert now moving to that fourth line here with Como and Letestu. Como deals to the point for Nikitin. Calvert battles in front, settles it down. Tried to send it towards the net. Shot was blocked. Como shoveled to the corner. Letestu's on it. Away from Gryba. Calvert keeps the feet moving, finds Letestu, walks out with a backhand. Off Anderson at the side of the net. He gets the mid on it and holds on.
Well, that's better. Again, you talked about the line changes, and that's one way a coach can really start to get things going without having to say a word. Guys will recognize, Calvert, you're now on the fourth line. Get something going, and that's exactly what happens. You see Letestu thinks he might just be pressured a little bit. He had more time than he thought. Nice job by Anderson to be able to corral that puck.
Draw one by Johansson. Wisniewski able to gather it in. Umberger now. Played by Carlson. Carlson. Jackets, Foligno. On to R.J. Umberger. On the right wing. Umberger cuts to the net with a backhand. Anderson makes the stop. Goes crashing into that goalpost. Upended was R.J. Umberger, who's getting back to his feet, but good work there by the Jackets.
Well, nice job with the back pressure through the neutral zone. Foligno ends up coming up with that puck, and then tape to R.J. Umberger. He had a thought. On his backhand, he wanted to be able to get some strength and drive to that net, but Cowan does a nice job of taking away that space. At least he gets the shot away, forces Anderson to play that puck.
Moving up, goals in 3 straight games. Derek McKenzie, who's playing the wing now with Dubinsky. And Atkinson.
Now that subtle message. See how it certainly helped with that fourth line. And now you take a look at this Dubinsky line. Let's see what happens.
Well, we talked earlier. This is the line the Jackets have got to get some production from. And it's Anderson sweeping it around the boards. Nikitin shot deflected wide. Hustling. Atkinson plays it below the wall. On to Derek McKenzie. Shot by Nikitin. Off a leg. Dubinsky's got it. Nikitin. This game is taking a familiar pace to what we saw Saturday against Buffalo, with the Senators tonight blocking a number of shots and not really giving the Jackets much room to work in the offensive zone.
That's why right now you'll see that F3, in other words, the high forward come out from the slot area right out to the blue line to be an option for the defense.
Anderson down. He will cover up. Exactly 5 minutes left, opening period. Senators lead 1-0 on the goal by DaCosta, his first.
Ottawa leads it exactly 5 minutes to go. Craig Hartsburg is shuffling up the lines a little bit, trying to infuse a little energy out there.
Well, for sure. I think our legs aren't there. We got to create some energy, and a guy like McKenzie moving up with Dubinsky is certainly going to give us that.
What else can you do to kind of infuse a little urgency, I guess, in this first period?
Well, we got to get physical here. We got to start banging some bodies, obviously in the corners of the rink, but also in both front of both nets. We got to get to the net in their end, and we got to knock some people around in ours.
Well, it comes back to that want inside of you. Boy, can you do it? You had a tough game last night, but, again, quit feeling sorry. Come on out, take the body, do what you do best.
Umberger centers it in front, and it's off the blocker. Ryan, right wing. Bobby Ryan threads the needle on to Turris, moving in. MacArthur, who was camped in front, saw that puck just bounced over his stick. With Turris laying the pass up on that left wing. Battle ensues. Bobby Ryan, a centering feed for MacArthur, knocked down by Foligno. Cowan. Listen to Hartsburg. The Jackets need to start banging some bodies, play with some energy, get the feet moving. Jackets have forgotten what led them to the success of 8 straight victories. McKenzie dumping in.
You got 2 of the top 5 in the National Hockey League when it comes to hits, Jeff, and you would expect that tonight in your own building.
McKenzie centers it off Dubinsky's stick, and Atkinson sends it wide. Great setup there from Derek McKenzie, but the Jackets don't even hit the net. 3:47 left. Right wing feed at center. Across the line. Wisniewski. Spezza drops it back. Ryba's shot is blocked. Reaching for it there. McCulloch. Spezza. Wisniewski onto Cam Atkinson. Zone is cleared. Jenner held up there. Jackets did not get a power play last night. And this one looks familiar in that regard again here tonight. Certainly a number of penalties could have been called. Here, a centering feed. Anisimov walks in, tries to pull the trigger, and Jenner sends it wide. But a penalty is going to be called. Hallelujah. A holding call.
Well, you're right. You have an opportunity to come into the zone. They're taking away your space, and there will be a holding call. But watch this play right here. Again, Anisimov, a little toe drag, loses it. But again, if Jenner stops in front of the net, he has a goal. That puck stays right there, right near the blue of the crease. Where does Jenner go? He's got it on the forehand, and then he skates by the net. Stopping and starting, it is something that has to come into the mind. And when you're tired, yes, it's difficult. That's mentally tired. That's where the push has to come.
There's Mark Mathot. He is off for holding at 16:53. The Blue Jackets, incidentally, not unlike Ottawa coming in tonight, each scoring 5 goals in the previous 2 games. But 4 of the 5 goals the Blue Jackets scored in this season series have come on the power play. And the power play certainly much improved since seeing Ottawa early on in the season. The Jackets are 10 for 40 in January, 6th in the National Hockey League, 3rd in this Eastern Conference. Tied for 20th on the penalty kill are the Senators at 80.2%. Letestu sends it back here to Jack Johnson. Johnson's pass knocked down there by Smith. Wisniewski can't play it. Smith pressured, able to sweep it the rest of the way, and he'll head off. 2 minutes, 48 seconds left. Opening period. Jack Johnson carries to center, drops it back. Letestu, left wing feed Anisimov. Horton pulls the trigger there, and the puck sails all the way back out and into Jackets territory.
That was a beautiful entry. They had speed. They had a little support on the wing. And the key there, you've got to hit the net.
Artem Anisimov sweeps a backhand for Horton too far. Carlson gets a stick on it. Short-handed, the Senators Greening. On to McCulloch. Jackets change things up. A little more than a minute left on the power play. Jack Johnson finishing the check. Right side, Wisniewski. James Wisniewski to center. Wisniewski hangs on, crosses the line. He leads the Jackets in power play points. Here's Johansson walking in. And Anderson, I believe, got just enough of it with that glove to steer it wide. Great play, but the Jackets failed to score.
And that's the right move. I'll tell you, he went exactly where Anderson looked like he might have gone across that crease. Anderson stayed right with him.
Foligno. Far side for Nikitin. Jackets down to 30 seconds of the power play. Nikitin's pass finds Johansson at center. Ryan Johansson flips a pass to Foligno. Nick Foligno would love nothing more to end his recent but short scoring drought with a goal against his ex-mates. Foligno keeps the feet moving. An arm around the Jackets forward, and he's drawn another penalty. Let the Senators play it. And now just brief seconds remain in the first penalty. Jackets will go back to the power play in front of Umberger. He had a wide open net and looks to the heavens there. What a pass, and Umberger, keeping wide open net, could not send it in.
Well, if Umberger's a right-handed shot, it is in the back of the net. What a pass. Umberger is wide open. He's all alone on that backside, but this is going back to that Johansson play. And you can see Johansson, it rolls off the toe of the stick. And Anderson did not make a save on it. Let's go back to the minor penalty that was just called on Gryba.
A hooking call on Gryba. Paul McLean looking on from the bench. Well, the Jackets basically get back-to-back power plays. As the Mathot penalty ended, the play whistled down. The Jackets are right back to the power play, and it's Wisniewski. Tossing it behind the net. Boone Jenner. Less than a minute to go in this opening period. Reaching for Dubinsky. MacArthur and Turris short-handed. And Jack Johnson makes the play on Turris. Jackets move back up ice. 3-on-2. Dubinsky across the line. Atkinson cruising in the slot. Dubinsky hangs on to Wisniewski. It goes off Atkinson. Wisniewski steps up. Now the puck gloved ahead, so play has been called. 35.8 seconds left. The Jackets catching Ottawa up ice, but they don't even get a shot.
No, a 4-on-2 scenario, and Dubinsky ends up pulling up inside the line. And instead of just laying it back into spaces and giving Atkinson a chance to skate upon it, well, that was not the case. Tours, who has 2 shorthanded goals on the year, tried to feed back door. That's where the Jackets have to take advantage right now. Get things to the net. Too cute and too often.
Anisimov with Testu and Horton up front. Jackets, a minute, 15 seconds left. Final seconds ticking off in this first period. The Senators have cleared. McElhaney will settle it down. Nikitin back to play. Precious seconds remain in this opening period. Jackets must get up ice quick. Nikitin checking the clock, steps in, hands it to Horton. Horton for Nikitin in the corner. A centering feed comes up high. Tootin's got to get it away quickly and looks for the pass to Nikitin as the horn goes to end the opening period of play. Jackets outshoot visiting Ottawa 13-11, but are outscored 1-0 on the DaCosta power play goal. The Jackets will have 53 seconds of power play time as we begin the second. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. By Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Find a local agent on nationwide.com. By your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Huntington. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at bluejacketsbanking.com. Back for second period play here at Nationwide. Senators lead on the goal by DaCosta on a power play. Jackets begin the second with a power play, but not before we get a chance to talk briefly here to head coach Todd Richards. And Todd, your impressions of that first period, please.
Well, we didn't play probably for the first 12 minutes or so. Sleepy, not winning a lot of battles. I thought we got a little bit better as the period wore on, but we didn't have enough guys going.
One quick move that you made, McKenzie goes up in place of Calvert. Message sent?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But you know what, Manny did? Derek did a good job. He got up there, and, Doobie's a guy who skates. And we put somebody on the wing who wants to skate and work with him, then they become pretty effective.
Thanks for this, Coach.
All right.
Todd Richard joining us downstairs. Teams are set for second period play. And it will be Johansson losing the draw there to Smith. Jackets power play, less than 50 seconds. Senators dump it back for Carlson. Steered ahead, Wisniewski on it. Jack Johnson walking to the line. Deals to the right wing. Stepping up here, Johansson. Left side, Foligno. Tried to toe drag and walk around Carlson, but the Senators get a stick on it and sweep it the length of the ice. 20 seconds left of the Jackets power play. Wisniewski leads Columbus in points on a power play. Carried in by Johansson. Johansson had it knocked away, recovers, rims it around the wall, reaching for an Umberger, and he can't get a stick on it, and it's back in Columbus territory. Jackets now 1 second from being 0 for 2 as Gryba steps out. Johnson, Johansson, Umberger pulls the trigger there, and Anderson holds on. There's a look at R.J. Umberger. His line mate Ryan Johansson is our IGS energy performer through the opening period of play.
We had a couple of pretty good opportunities. He going in all alone, try to pull it towards that backhand, just going off the toe of the stick to Johansson. They've got to get back to now working the quickness, but also the physicality has to pick up.
Derek McKenzie continues to patrol the left side here with Dubinsky and Atkinson. Tootin out muscling. The Ottawa forward. Here's McKenzie. Again, a career best 3-game goal scoring streak. He'd like to continue it here now, get the Jackets going. Keeps the feet moving, drops it back there. Shot by Murray, deflected off the netting and out of play.
Fans, text the keyword RINK to 90561 right now to enter the Blue Jackets Florida Flyway Contest. You can win a Florida getaway and get a chance to see the Jackets take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa Bay, Florida. That's going to be in April. And again, tonight's keyword is RINK. Grab your phone right now to text 90561 for your chance to win.
Face off to the left on the Ottawa net. And from the draw, Lechestu wins it. Here's Golubov with a shot that's blocked. Chris Neal coming. And was able to redirect the shot from the point. Golubov playing his second game of the season in the absence of David Savard, who was out with the flu. This is the third game that he has missed, although he has practiced the last 2 days. With an additional day or two off, perhaps we'll return to the lineup Thursday against Washington. Good work here by Nikitin. Gets away from Neal. Steps to center. Rifles it in. Up along the left wing boards, Matt Calvert. Nathan Horton off the bench. But Ottawa come out of their own zone. And a pass here for Spezza. Reaching for it. Pulls the trigger. Shot block. Rebound there from McCulloch. And it's turned aside by McElhinney. Jackets move up ice. Right wing. Horton. Left side. There's Jenner. And Anderson able to turn that one aside. Zibanejad on for Spezza. The redirect. And a one-time shot there by Carlson. Sails wide. Horton handing to Anisimov. Jenner on the right wing. Anisimov. Jenner. Horton from skate to stick, but the shot was blocked.
Oh boy, if again, that's on the tape of Horton. That's into the back of the net right now. The timing just off.
Horton picks up that lead pass, moves in, fires a shot, stick save, and bounces here along the right wing boards. Cleared to center. Jackets, Boone Jenner steers ahead. Jackets will change up here. 3+ minutes gone. Jackets skating a little better here in the early part of second period.
Well, you have 53 seconds of power play. Now you've got to get back to that yeoman's effort. Again, get the nose dirty. And that line of Dubinsky, it started it off right after the power play.
Jackets out shooting the Senators 4-1 here in the second. 17-12 advantage. As we approach the 4-minute mark. Conacher moves it along. Conacher dropping it back. Up high, Mark Mathot deals it off into the corner. That's Condra. DaCosta looking to walk out. DaCosta protecting that puck. The goal scorer here for the Senators. Trying to move it along. Far side, Mathot in off the point. DaCosta pressured along the wall. Jackets backhand for Johansson. Gets away from him and tossed back behind the Columbus net. Conacher looking to walk out. Mathot lets one fly off the pad of McElhinney. Mathot again with a centering feed. It gets away from R.J. Umberger. Umberger having a difficult time tonight handling the puck.
Well, especially along the boards. And it isn't just him. Again, that's where they have a chance to chip it outside the zone. They've been unable to do so.
Neal able to keep it in. Bouncing puck in the corner. Smith drill. Greeny battles in the corner. Greeny sweeps to the point. Kept in by Greiba. Greiba's shot in front and steered to the corner by McElhinney. The crowd getting a little anxious here. Hearing a smattering of boos as the Jackets having difficulty getting out of their own end. Tootin. Ahead here for Atkinson. Turris picking his pocket. Dubinsky picks it up. McKenzie. Dubinsky in front for Atkinson, and it's blocked. Again, you're better off with a shot there than a pass.
You bet. Just off the backhand, put it into the pads.
Bobby Ryan had it knocked off his stick. 5+ minutes gone. Dubinsky battles. MacArthur to the point. Wierkosh sends it in, and the play halted by the stop of McElhinney.
They'll, before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live is brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Let's go places. There's a look at the captain, the 8th captain in Ottawa Senators history. It says himself, I'm not off to a very good start, but there's a lot more hockey in me. We have a goal right now, that is to be in that playoff race. Come time when the Olympic break comes along, we want to be in that spot.
Spezza just 3 goals in his last 25 games. Has not scored an even strength goal since November the 24th. That's 24 games ago. 3 power play goals over the last 25 games.
Still look at his numbers, Jeff, and they're still pretty reasonable when you look at 35 points. But again, they expect more. #1 pick going all the way back to 2001. Highly touted. And right now, he should be into his glory year.
You just wonder. Of course, Daniel Alfredsson, after an illustrious career in Ottawa, signing a free agent contract with Detroit, you just wonder if the pressure of being a captain, and maybe we draw the parallel with Rick Nash, who certainly shouldered a little extra pressure when he became the captain of the Blue Jackets.
You know, it's something that you think about. You know, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? You know, I set the example, but what else should I be doing? And it takes time to be able to develop and really move into that role.
Zibanejad looking for Carlson, picked off by Matt Calvert. Calvert bringing Dubinsky away, but Dubinsky unable to make the play. Dubinsky along the boards, gets it ahead. Como is dumped and slow to get up. I just hope he has not re-injured that knee.
Oh, boy.
And he is in difficulty as he limps off. Again, miraculously returning in just 2.5 weeks. Expected to be out for between 4 to 6 weeks, and not looking good as he makes his way down the runway with some assistance and to the Blue Jackets bench. But the Senators in the meantime score again, and it's 2-0.
Well, Stefan DaCosta, the recipient of a beautiful pass, finds the seam down in front of the net, and once he gets it, he finds the 5-hole of Curtis McElhinney. But our focus was looking at Como going off of the ice, and in the meantime, watch Spezza. He's in the home shop behind the goal and in a position where he can make, and he has time to be able to make this pass. And you can see DaCosta finishing it off to make it a 2-0 game. Both goals by the Paris, France native.
And his first 2 goals, 2-0. A goal at 6:24, and a beautiful pass there by Jason Spezza. Jackets are in a hole. Said it before, we'll say it again. Worst lead in hockey is a 2-goal lead. Jackets storm around the net but can't get anywhere. And the zone cleared, sent down the ice, and icing the call.
Well, right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, Rick Gatkin's 3 takeaways from last night's Blue Jackets game, Terry Francona's thoughts on the Indians prior to spring training, and don't miss our next Rinkside Chat. That's going to be on Wednesday night at 8. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving all of Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com.
Anisimov reaching for it. Spezza and Conacher draw the assists. For Spezza, that assist is his 10th career point in just 10 games against the Blue Jackets. Boone Jenner, right wing feed, knocked down by Turris and ripped high and wide of the net. Up kick free, Turris. Wirkosh able to keep it in. It's all Ottawa here. Goluboff turned around on the play. Jackets. Boone Jenner lifts it up, but not out. Ceci able to save it at the line.
Another example. Again, a winger unable to get that puck outside the zone. It just puts pressure right back onto your defense.
Approaching the 8-minute mark of the second period. Johansson sweeps ahead. Mark Mathot now. Quickly. Hands to Ceci. A clearing pass off a stick. MacArthur for Turris. Right wing, Bobby Ryan. Fires a shot, does Turris. And the stop by McElhaney. Ryan Johansson lifts it up and out. Ryba looking there for Bobby Ryan. Jack Johnson circling the net. Left wing, R.J. Umberger. By Gryba. Umberger in the corner. Keeps the feet moving there. Gryba battling. Knocking down the Jackets winger. Foligno from the corner. Sweeps it back behind the net. Tootin jumping up in the play. Umberger pressures off the skate in front for Foligno. It went off the skate of Johansson right to Foligno in the slot, but unable to pull the trigger.
Well, Nick was trying to pull it from backhand to forehand instead of just letting it go on that backhand side.
Foligno left wing at center with Atkinson. Foligno finds Atkinson. A backhand pass knocked down by Mark Mathot. Jack Johnson throws it behind the net. Gryba's there. Jackets pressure. Dubinsky along the wall. Gryba with a slash on the stick of Atkinson. Atkinson looking for open ice. Fires in. Anderson to stop. 9 minutes exactly gone here in period 2. Senators lead on a pair of goals by DaCosta. Todd Richards looking on, and you can pretty well read the mind of the Blue Jackets coach there.
Well, and again, let's take a look. Blake Como just coming on. You see Atkinson going off for the change. Como goes down. Right leg collapses underneath him. Let's just hope it's not as bad as it looks. Como gets up. Look at Ian Walsh come over to give him a hand and get him to the bench. And he made his way right down the hallway. And in fact, look at this. Are you kidding me? That gives a little spark. I'm telling you what, you sit on that bench and you just watch one of your players go down like he just did. That will spark anybody.
Como worked hard to come back. Originally injured in practice on the 9th of January. And you can just see still grimacing. And at the same time, flexing that right leg.
Just to have him on the bench. He's a guy that will continue to chirp, good verbal, tough guy, loves the body, loves the hit, but has the ability with the Islanders that one year, scored 25 goals, has that chance to be able to score goals when needed.
Plays a heavy game. Certainly led to some of the Jackets' success for sure. Off the point comes Ryan Murray. Greening can't clear. Atkinson with a backhand glove by Greg Anderson, and again, no rebound.
Nightly on Fox Sports Live, Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole, they bring you all the scores, all the news, and all the highlights you need. Don't miss Fox Sports Live nightly. That's at 11 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. Now, to find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com right now.
From the draw, won cleanly by Smith. The thought circles the net. Senators walk out of their own zone, reaching for it there. Calvert can't make the play. Smith sends it into Columbus territory. Goluboff. On for Nikitin. Right wing pass for Como. His first shift since coming back. Pass intended for Como there. Fails. From center. Ryba dumps deep. Como on the right wing. Avoids a hit. Letestu reaching for it. It's swept out and back to the Jackets line. Nikitin now. Head up, looks to the right wing. Foligno. Como heads off and hits that bench rather gingerly. Umberger bouncing puck. Played by Foligno. Gurkosh looking for Sisu. Spezza draped all over the Jackets forward. Less than 9.5 left here in the second. Winning the board battle there. Foligno wraparound attempt right in the blue paint, and Umberger can't get a stick on it. Delay penalty upcoming here to Ottawa. Jackets keep the feet moving. That's Jack Johnson. Extra attacker on. McElhaney has made his way to the bench. Thrown up high here to Tootin. Feder Tootin lets one fly. No, hangs on, now shoots, and it's off the goalpost. That one just off the outside of the post. Here, Tootin deals. Johansson, one-timer, pad save. Anderson. And you can see the frustration on the face of R.J. Umberger. Slapping his stick. Yet another golden opportunity for number 18.
2-0 Ottawa continues to lead it, but the Jackets heading out to the power play. Dan, what are you looking for? Obviously, you need a goal here, but what are you looking for intensity-wise?
Well, I think, right now we're relying solely on our shot to beat this guy, and you know what? He's a great goaltender. You got to get bodies in front of him. So to me, the key to this next power play is going to be getting screens.
Are you happy with the scoring opportunities so far? You're out shooting them, but that doesn't always translate into scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing a good enough job getting to the inside. Right now we're getting pucks on the net, but now we got to start battling on the inside, getting second chances, tips, rebounds, and screens.
That's it. Get off of that wall quickly to make things happen.
Jackets are 0 for 2 on the power play. They've had but one shot on those 2 manpower advantages. Wisniewski almost lost it right there at the goal line. Pressure coming from Smith. 8:40 left. Again, Wisniewski. Atkinson speeds down that left wing. Dishes there to Matt Calvert. Calvert kicks it back to Jack Johnson. Dubinsky camped in front of the net. There's a shot that sails wide. Now, if we're going to create traffic in front, get the shots through. Shot by Wisniewski. Pad save. Jack Johnson steps up. Johnson for Calvert. Dubinsky cruising in the slot. Up high Wisniewski. On to Atkinson. Back for Wisniewski. Wisniewski floats it in front. Calvert tried to go. And there's Atkinson with a power play goal. Finally, the Jackets are on the board. As the puck squirted free, Atkinson all alone. Empty net in front of him and sweeps it home. His first goal in 6 games.
Well, it did look pretty coming up the ice, but once they got into that zone and started the puck movement, and then you watch the play by Calvert in front of the net. It was an intended pass shot from the point. Watch the shot right now, and then watch Calvert right here. There's the screen, there's the puck backside, and then Atkinson coming in from that left side is a right-handed shot. He's got the 24 square feet to make it a 1-goal game. Nice power play by the Jackets. Beautiful job, good puck movement.
Atkinson's 16th goal of the year, his 3rd power play tally. And let's see if this breathes some life into the Jackets. Ryan Murray off the point. Murray with a centering pass. Umberger hits the goal post. Nobody's had more opportunities tonight than R.J. Umberger. And there he walks in with a perfect feed and sends it right off the pipe.
Well, the key right now is forget about the frustration, continue to come, get the head up, get the chin up, and start to work. But watch the play right there by Murray. Umberger left all alone, and it had church music written all over that stick side post.
Wisniewski incidentally picks up the 2nd assist. Calvert the primary assist. And for Cam Atkinson, his 60th career point. Jackets win the draw. The crowd a buzz here now. Save made by Anderson. Now some pushing and shoving here.
It's good to see again R.J. Umberger. You can be so frustrated, and right now he's taking each shift. He knows he's been around the net. Just continue to do what he has been doing. Off the post. There's an opportunity down in front of the net. Anderson makes a save. Another one, he just misses that stick side on Anderson. But again, the opportunities are there. If they're not there, that's when the frustration certainly abodes.
.7:31 left. The Anisimov line out there. Tootin. Jack Johnson on the points. R.J. Umberger having words with the referee, Ian Walsh. During the stoppage in play, Boone Jenner along the wall. Spezza knocks it away. Anisimov throws it behind the net. Cowan battling against Horton. Horton winning that battle along the boards. Hangs onto the puck. Throws it back here to Tootin. On for Horton. Rims it around the dasher. Anisimov in pursuit. Played there by McCulloch. Cowan bumped by Jenner. Horton in pursuit there as Carlson walks dangerously in front of his own net. Anisimov got a piece of him, but the Senators move up ice. Spezza thrown out of the zone. Anisimov hustling. Cowan defends. Cowan along the wall. Penalty upcoming. And it's going to be against the Blue Jackets. No icing here. Tootin, oh, they're going to call icing. And the Jackets, Anisimov, I believe, are getting an arm around.
Hooking.
We'll call it hooking, but he was all over Carlson. Nonetheless, second power play for Ottawa. They're 1-for-1. The hooking call on Anisimov.
Again, there's the transition by Carlson coming up and out of the zone. And this is the Anisimov penalty. You can see the stick right up into the arm, underneath the arm of Cowan. Again, I thought it might have been quick enough up and down, but it was more arms instead of stick, and that's why the penalty was called. No, it's the wrong guy if that be the case, and you know what? Well, they're good communication. Sooner have Anisimov on the ice because he is one of the best penalty killers the Blue Jackets have.
Well, he went to the penalty box. He went to the penalty box and then walked away as Jenner came over. Jenner thought he'd be able to serve the penalty, and the players basically did that on their own without the officials' knowledge initially. But the officials said, no. The penalty is Anisimov. You get in there. And Jenner very calmly walked out. Now we get Tootin pushing and shoving. Neal, Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Now, Jack Johnson wisely stays back. Now, Neal should get a penalty there. He certainly was the aggressor, and he's going to the box, indeed.
Well, he should. And again, Jack Johnson was smart. Neal, he knew what he was trying to do, trying to goad Jack Johnson into it, but it should be a minor penalty to Neal.
There's definitely a penalty coming, and I believe Neal should be the only one to go, but we'll wait to see how the officials see it. They're pointing actually to both here, so... Jack Johnson going. I believe he is. They're both going.
Yeah, let's take a look and see exactly if. And again, judge at home. There's Jack.
Ottawa 25,
Looked like he was more protecting himself than anything else.
Well, and the hands are up in the facial area. Jack did get a couple in. But then it was the last couple, and as Jack was trying to back up and get out of the way, he ended up falling backwards. So both of them will go into the box. Coincidentals, it'll still remain 5-on-4 power play.
Puck turned over. DaCosta fires, glove by McElhinney.
College, high school students enjoy a night out and experience a Blue Jackets hockey with CBJ Student Rush tickets presented by Papa John's. Tickets for the Washington game on Thursday, January the 30th, start at just $15, and each ticket includes a free offer from Papa John's. Go to bluejackets.com/rush for complete details.
And it's 40 left of the Anisimov penalty. Dubinsky sends it to the line and was able to be kept in there by Ceci. Centering feed. Jackets knock it down. Nikitin away from McCulloch. Lifts it up and out. Sending it the length of the ice. Anderson, he'll come out and tee it up. Ceci paired with Wierkosh on the points. Marching out of their own zone. A pass here on the wing for Conacher. Conacher rims it around the wall. Played up high. Wierkosh off his skate. Jackets pressure. Good work by Nikitin. On here to Dubinsky. Umberger racing down that right side. Carried in. Dubinsky fights off a couple of the Senators. Umberger on that far side. Dumps behind and Wiercott hands it quickly for Spezza. Jason Spezza through the neutral zone. Ottawa captain, a toe drag. Not buying it there was McKenzie, who pressures Karlsson up high. On to Turris. There's Turris turning it over. Matt Calvert speeds down that left wing. Tries to fight through Karlsson. Gets a bit of a hip check on Matt Calvert. Down to 22 seconds in the Anisimov call. Karlsson steps in. Deals to MacArthur in the corner. Wisniewski finishing a check. Letestu now. Carries out of the zone. He's got McKenzie with him. Letestu across the line. Fires a shot. That's stick to side. Turris, 2 seconds left in the Anisimov penalty. He is standing at the gate and steps out. Jackets
nice
kill it
job.
off.
Good job. Again, it started with Dubinsky, Umberger with their penalty kill. Letestu, they come out and do a great job in that offensive zone, taking time off of that penalty.
Left wing feed picked off. Karlsson fires. And McElhaney gets the glove on it. As we go to break, the game has certainly picked up in the intensity department. A big reason the Jackets get the goal on the power play by Cam Atkinson.
Now there's a look at Jack Johnson on the left and Bobby Ryan on the right. Again, number 2, number 3 in the draft back in 2005. Both guys Olympic snubs. But the guy on the left, Jack Johnson, after that decision, he come back and played some of his best hockey for the Blue Jackets. On the other side, Brian Burke. Well, I'll tell you what, it was a character attack against Bobby Ryan, and he has struggled since. We talked about it earlier. 1 goal in the last 11 games for Bobby Ryan. He has not been the same since that decision was made.
Atkinson centered in front from the point. Tossed behind the net. A centering feed, backhanded there. Oh, that one comes up in the face of Ryan Murray. Murray remains on. McElhaney able to make the stop. Thrown to the point. Ryba floats one in, sent wide. Ryba tied up here with Matt Calvert. Crowd looking for a penalty call there. Ryba tosses far side. Quick shot. Knocked down by Greening. Calvert on to Atkinson. Jackets send it deep. Good work by Dubinsky. Throws it in front. And Foligno unable to get to it. Zibanejad through the neutral zone. Pressured there by Umberger. Jackets clear. Here comes Foligno with speed down that right wing. Walks in. And Cowan able to knock it away. Spezza, left wing to center. Pulls up. Throws it cross ice. Jackets will step up once more. And Tootin fires in. Greg Anderson dishes. Cowan. Head up. Clears the zone. Spezza in pursuit. Picks it up. Pulls up at the half wall. Spezza lets one fly. The shot. Again, McElhaney the stop. How about the Ohio Health great save? And as we get a look at McElhaney, here's one of his stops earlier on this period.
Well, again, it was Karlsson moving in from that right point position. Look at the position of McElhaney. He's about 7-8 feet out beyond the blue of the crease. Nice job with the glove. But Karlsson moves up. He can let it go as well as anybody. Leading his team in scoring as a defenseman. 12 goals, heads and assists tonight, 37 assists. He is some talent. Won the Norris back in 2012 as the NHL's best defenseman.
Jackets have blocked 16 Senators shots here. And leading the way, Dubinsky with 6 of them. Jack Johnson, right wing feed for Horton. Anisimov retrieves the puck below the goal line. Circles out. Tootin off the point. Tootin chops it. Attempting to get it to Boone Jenner. It went off the netting and out of play.
Fans, watch the Blue Jackets, and you can do it in style in a Nationwide Arena luxury suite. Entertaining in a suite means the finest in personalized service, comfortable seating, ample meeting space, and certainly you'll have the privacy. For more information, contact the Blue Jackets Group Event Specialist at 614-246-PUCK or visit BlueJackets.com.
After taking that puck somewhere to the face, perhaps around that nose or mouth area, Ryan Murray has left the Jackets bench and has gone back with Mike Vogt, the Blue Jackets dressing room. I'm sure we'll see him return. Anisimov looking for Horton. Cowan steps ahead. On to Carlson. Turris can't make the play. Anisimov with a shot. Onto the stick of Horton. Horton plays it off that wall. No. Jenner tried to get to it. Jackets failed to do so. And here's Cowan. Horton steps into him. Carlson, right wing. At center. On to Bobby Ryan. Ryan pressured. Jenner with the steal. On to Horton. Back to Jenner. 2-on-1. Jenner moves in. Jenner for Horton. Back comes MacArthur with a defensive play. And again, Jackets would have been better advised to fire the puck.
You want to believe it, but what an effort by MacArthur to come back. I mean, he was a half a zone back and ended up making up that hay. And then, as you say, Jeff, if you shoot it off the wing, again, he's out of the play. Shoot the puck when you get the chance.
Nikitin. Wisniewski. Right wing feed for Como. His first shift in some time. Seems to be skating better this time than that first shift. Conacher, as play has been called. 1 minute left. It was knocked down with a high stick, so play call.
Text the keyword RINK to 90561 right now to enter the Blue Jackets Florida 5-way contest. You could win a Florida getaway and a chance to see the Jackets take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa, Florida in April. Again, tonight's keyword is RINK. Grab your phone right now to text it to 90561 for your chance to win. So look at Nikita Nikitin. Solid performance tonight. To be able to utilize that shot just a little bit more, especially again against this Ottawa Senators team. Dan Heino says get traffic, but you need to have the shots directed to the net.
Jackets Wisniewski on to Nikitin. Well into the final minute. Matt Calvert with that beautiful play to set up Atkinson with a between the legs pass. Here is Spezza, fires. Big rebound. Jackets blocked that. Wisniewski gets a stick on it. Now Dubinsky with Calvert. Dubinsky hangs on, shows patience. The shot is blocked in front and does not get through.
Well, Dubinsky was waiting and thought he might be able to have a defenseman coming in on that weak side. But again, nothing there.
Umberger, nice pass here to Calvert. Calvert with a shot off the stick of Greiba. And sent wide. Umberger throwing it back. Nikitin's got a hustle here. Watch out for Zibanejad. Upended. And play call.
You can see him looking at Ian Walsh, trying to call a minor penalty. Let's see. He's going to call a penalty now. Whether it's going to go to Zibanejad, is it going to go to both? We'll have to take a look and see.
Columbus player hooking, Ottawa player minor penalty for embellishment.
Let's take a look. All right, there's the hook. I'll give him that. And then, oh yeah, look at that. Look at the legs. That right leg went up as if he had a rope around it and it was tied to the ceiling here in Nationwide Arena.
Unsportsmanlike conduct to Zibanejad for the embellishment. The hooking call on Nikitin. Penalties coming at 19:57. After 40 minutes of play, the Senators lead 2-1. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. By Ticketmaster, score, get the only NHL tickets sold by fans and verified by Ticketmaster. It's all hockey, no hassle right now at NHL.com/ticket exchange. And by 5-Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. Teams have returned to the ice, third period. Set to begin. And from the draw, Jack Johnson, who's had 17 shifts, played more than 17 and a half minutes, 4 hits, 3 blocks, and 2 shots on goal. On to Feder Tootin. Teams playing 4 aside with the late periods. To Zibanejad for embellishment, and the hooking call on Nikita. Atkinson unable to cradle that puck. He has the goal for the Jackets. Pressure coming from Dubinsky on Mathai. Out of the zone. Carlson through and across the line. Pulls up on that half wall. Throws it ahead. Up along the boards. MacArthur had it knocked away by Atkinson. On to Dubinsky. Dubinsky waits for reinforcements. Jack Johnson had it knocked away. Jackets will change up.
4-on-4 hockey, this is where you still want to control that puck. Again, Dubinsky has an opportunity. You have nothing, pull back into the neutral zone, regroup, and then come across the line with speed.
Greening through and across the line. Ryan Murray back after some minor repairs, taking a puck off the face. Greening, pressured. Officials say move it along. Trying to fish that puck free there was Wisniewski. Greening continues to protect it. Gets it to Smith. Fought off alertly there by McElhaney, who has made a number of key stops tonight.
Oh, what a play there by Colin Greening. Again, he's controlling the puck in that offensive corner, and then watch it right between the feet. And as he does so, Smith, he gets into a position to shoot that puck. And then you get a chance to watch Curtis McElhaney make the save, bouncing off of that glove. Able to come in and get that rebound.
Pair of 19s will do the honors here. One cleanly by Johansson, who's had a strong night in the faceoff circle. 90 seconds plus gone here in the third. Nice move there. Johansson right through to Calvert. And held by Anderson, giving us an opportunity to check out tonight's AEP Power Play summary. Both teams, Bill, have power play goals.
Yeah, DaCosta scoring that first goal back in period number 1. And then how about that power play goal by the Jackets? Cam Atkinson, the recipient of a beautiful pass. Good instinct, knowing your teammate, knowing your line mate. Calvert chips it to the backside, and Atkinson does the rest.
Carlson carries out. Shot sent wide of the net. It takes a great defenseman to certainly recognize a great one. And again, Lidstrom, as I pointed out to Benny, Nicholas Lidstrom making that comment, Bill, that Carlson, in his opinion, the best defenseman in the National Hockey League. Here's Horton. Circles the net, wraparound attempt, and the Jackets send it wide. Calvert got to it just in front of the net, but sent it wide.
Go back to that comment. You know, you get a guy like Denny Potvin that could play any game you wanted. He was a tough character, had one of the best hip checks in the game, could move the puck, was always involved.
Here, Ryan pulling the trigger, sending it wide to the net, bouncing puck. On to Horton. Ryan Murray carries into the zone. Great work. Murray pressured. Jenner, cross ice there for Horton. Horton plays it off the wall. Horton looking for Jenner in the slot. Anisimov collides with his teammate Jenner. Both slip and fall. And that enables the Senators to clear the zone. And here's MacArthur. MacArthur, cross ice pass. Bobby Ryan shot blocked by Ryan Murray, who made the play in the offensive zone and then is back to tidy things up defensively. Shot here. And there is McElhaney to hold on. Ford game summary.
We'll go back to period number 1. It was again Stéphane DaCosta out of Paris, France, scoring his first NHL goal. The second period, DaCosta his second even strength from Spezza and Conacher. And then the power play goal of the Jackets. Jackets out shooting the Ottawa Senators 26-20 through 2 periods. And here getting started in period number 3. They want to push the pace, dictate the tempo in their building.
Como, Letestu, and McKenzie reunited. McKenzie riding a 3-game goal scoring streak. He'd love to get the tying goal here and extend it to 4. It's already a career best. Oh, great hit there. And a penalty upcoming. Goluboff with the hit on Neal.
Columbus 48 interference.
And they're calling it for interference. We make the call at home.
Yeah, that's referee Brad Watsy making that call. He goes in and, well, I'll tell you what, I've seen worse in games like this.
And not called.
That's a fact. I've seen worse in this game.
And not called.
That is unbelievable. I mean, the puck was right there, and you go in, you've got a heavyweight and a Neal. You got a guy like Cody Goluboff, who has played some great hockey at the American Hockey League level and has been very steady here with this Jacket team, but he's in the box.
Second game for the American Hockey League All-Star. One-timer by Spezza, redirected and sent wide of the net. Jackets. Carlson now for Ottawa. Hands to Bobby Ryan. Spezza top of the circle. Lets one fly. That was deflected wide. MacArthur picks it up. Rims it around the boards. Spezza is there. The Ottawa captain. On to Bobby Ryan. All kinds of traffic in front. Spezza settles it down. Looks. The redirect for MacArthur, but sent wide. Turris in front. Jackets block that. MacArthur for Carlson. Protects the puck. Looks for Turris. Jackets get a stick on it. Letestu, but he hands it right back. Carlson up high. On to Bobby Ryan. Spezza near circle. Ryan walking in. Bobby Ryan shot blocked by Feder Tootin. Battle ensues along the boards. Tootin had a stick on it. It's on to Letestu and very calmly sends it over the stick of Spezza and back into Ottawa territory. Less than a minute left in that power play for the Senators.
Yeah, smart play there by Letestu. Again, Jack Johnson was thinking about transition, but that was the end. That penalty kill for that unit.
Through the neutral zone. Urkosh off the point. Ryan Murray steps in front of McCulloch off a skate. Jackets able to play it. James Wisniewski throws it deep. Dubinsky in pursuit. And Dubinsky gets there ahead of Urkosh. Jackets pressure. Dubinsky. Anisimov up front. Ryan Murray and Wisniewski paired on the point. Urkosh walks it out of the zone. 5 minutes plus gone. Wisniewski. Long pass for Dubinsky. Dubinsky hangs onto that puck. Waits for reinforcements. Bump there. And it's DaCosta who has both Ottawa goals that stepped in front of the Jackets centerman. Dubinsky late in the shift makes his way off along with Anisimov. Hammered in there by Ceci. Far side, a centering feed off his skate. Jackets Wisniewski. A great kill there, and out comes Goluboff. This one remains 2-1. 5 minutes plus gone in the third. DaCosta. 2 National Hockey League goals here tonight. Both for Ottawa. Nikitin steps to the line. Off Ceci, that hurt. Umberger in pursuit. R.J. Umberger finishing the check there on his former teammate. McFott. Here Tootin drills it wide of the net. Off the netting, played by Greening. Approaching the 7-minute mark, a backhand pass for Zibanejad, unable to play it. Tootin on to Nikitin, who steps to center. Rifles it in. Ceci is bumped. Greening throws it in front of his own net, but the Senators quickly march it out. Smith hustles deep. Jackets defend. Atkinson reaching for it there was Johansson. He and Foligno head off. Left by McElhinney. He turned over by Tootin. Smith is with it. Tootin drops in front of it. Smith making a play. A penalty forthcoming. A turnover here by the Blue Jackets. Power play ahead. Lead the Blue Jackets, who are about to go on a power play. But before it begins, a look at tonight's AT&T Rewind. For that, we head to Buffalo, where the Sabres are hosting Washington. The Blue Jackets' next opponent. Caps lead in the first 1-0.
Yeah, and this is going to make it 2-0. Again, good forecheck by the Washington Capitals coming in. You see Ovechkin, he gets into position. Mike Green is there. Ovechkin gets credit for that goal. He gets a stick on it. That made it 2-0. But the Sabres did not quit. They did not not die. Phil Verona, he gets an opportunity to come in, and he finds the back of the net as it goes off the goaltender. He picks up the rebound. It is now 4-3 Washington.
Smith in the penalty box. The call is hooking. It comes at 6:51. Jackets on the power play. They are 1 for 3 with 3 shots. Jack Johnson floats one in. Down is Anderson. Scramble in front. Jackets can't get to it. Atkinson throws it back here to the point. Good save at the line. Now Wisniewski lets one fly. Calvert got a stick on it, but directed it wide. Atkinson, who had the power play goal earlier. Wisniewski scores! Power play goal. Jackets tie it up. Wisniewski with the power play tally.
And Jeff, you talked about the power play in January. One of the best in the league, over 25%, and this is why. You got a guy like Wisniewski who has the time to let it go. A nice cross-ice pass. That gives him time. And then look at the screen by Calvert down in front of the net. Anderson has no idea. It goes off of the blocker, past Anderson into the back of the net. What a howitzer right there by James Wisniewski.
His second power play goal, his 5th of the season. His second power play point of the night. And now, with 2 goals and 16 assists to lead the Jackets in power play points, and this building is ignited. R.J. Umberger sends it towards the net. Wisniewski hearing it from the crowd. Atkinson picks up his second power play point of the night. And Jack Johnson, similarly, with an assist. 6:16, a brand new hockey game. Senators scored the first 2 goals. The Jackets have come back to tie it up. And James Wisniewski, who got the shot to the net, finds the back of it, and it's a 2-2 tie.
You know, it's that pass that Atkinson makes, and it's, again, a diagonal pass, cross ice, back to the point, and that gives him the time to be able to load it up. And then Dan Heinold talked in that second period about taking away the eyes, getting in front of the goaltender, set the screen. And that's exactly what Calvert has done in the last 2 power play goals. Nice job by Matty Calvert.
A look at Como on the bench. Hasn't played a regular shift, but certainly providing some leadership and inspiration. You heard from him prior to tonight's game about the Jackets learning about that defeat last night. And they have come off the mat here, trailing 2-0, struggling, the legs not moving, the Jackets not generating much offense, and they've tied up this hockey game as we approach the midway point of the 3rd period. They've got to keep it going.
And Jeff, remember that where they're playing. You are back at Nationwide Arena. It is your building. You can dictate it.
Now here's a line that would like to provide some offense. Been a while between goals for them. Anisimov, Jenner, and Nathan Horton. Steered to the wing. Wierkosh on for Conacher. Jackets get it off that backboard. Anisimov, left wing. That's Horton. Horton tripped up. Jackets follow through. No. Able to be poke-checked away, and it's Conacher racing down the left side. Lets one fly. Sticked aside by McElhaney. Conacher hustles to it, but hands it right to Anisimov. Horton down the right side, Jenner the left. Anisimov dumps in, the Jackets will change up.
Really smart line changes right now by the Jackets. You know, you get it across the line. Hey, if you can get the line, pull up, you make your line change, then you've got control of that puck in the offensive zone.
Jackets have dominated in the face-off circle, winning 8 of 9 draws at last count. And that's awfully important here in the first period. Long lead pass for Dubinsky fails, and it's called.
Well, after every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game, talks to the players and the coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com.
Atkinson got it started with the first power play goal in the second midway through period number 2 and sets up with a primary assist. The goal by James Wisniewski. Tied at 2 as we approach the midway point of this 3rd period. Carlson On to Turris. Right back to Carlson, who's joined the rush. McElhaney is there with a pad save. Derek McKenzie flips a backhand. Mathot steps up and rifles this one off the netting and out of play. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of the broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited.
Well, there was a look at Ryan Murray, and after he got hit in the mouth in that second period, I watched him for the rest of the shift. You would never have known that he was even hurt. He did end up making his way down, got himself taken care of, but this guy is turning into a true professional.
High praise for this young man from a Hall of Famer, Denny Potvin, if you're with us in the second intermission.
Let's see if he wants to wear number 5.
Well,
then he was adamant about that.
Well, he was, but then he didn't want to talk about the other guy that wore 27. As you got to look at Potvin, boy, did he play any game he wanted. He was one tough hombre on that blue line. And, of course, now works alongside great play-by-play man, Dean Brown in Ottawa, and their Sportsnet telecasts. Cross-ice pass, shoveled ahead. Potvin and the New York Islanders, 4 straight Stanley Cups. Didn't want to talk about Scott Niedermayer, himself a Hall of Famer. And, of course, as we all know, Ryan Murray certainly grew up idolizing Niedermayer and wears proudly that number 27. Here's Foligno in deep. Oh, what a hit there. Mark Mathot at open ice. Foligno gets right back up.
You know, the only thing separating those two was a border. What a hit.
The two that were involved in a trade a couple of years ago. Mathot coming to Ottawa from Columbus, and Foligno coming this way.
Now, it helped both hockey teams. Foligno was what the forward troops needed, a guy that worked hard and set the example. And for Ottawa, well, Mathot was there as well.
Another power play upcoming here. And we will be right back. Penalty box. The call is high sticking.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that high stick. You'll watch 15 coming out right there. And again, in and around that facial area. And it catches Johansson. Almost took his head off.
Jackets 2 for 4, 7 shots. They had 4 on the previous power play. Before they found the back of the net on the previous penalty to Smith. It went off for hooking. Jackets, Dubinsky, Calvert, Atkinson, Jack Johnson, and James Wisniewski. Mark Mathot pressured there by Jack Johnson. Up high, Atkinson. Oh, nice move there. Jack Johnson able to keep it in with a pass to Wisniewski. Atkinson. Jackets power play. Tonight, a pair of goals, and now 12 for 44. They came in tonight, 6th best power play in the month of January in all the National Hockey League. And they've improved on that. They also, prior to tonight's game, had the 3rd best in the Eastern Conference. Came in tonight tied for 16th in power play efficiency. No doubt will improve on that mark. Oh, Atkinson fanned on the attempted pass. And it's McCulloch who sends it in deep. Less than 8.5 left, 3rd period regulation time. More than a minute left on the power play. Wisniewski drops it back for Johansson. Oh, he recovered in a hurry with that long reach. Otherwise, that Ottawa player MacArthur was in home free. Wisniewski almost had MacArthur pick it off.
There's a lot of circling going on out there. I'll tell you what, they're on their own page right now.
Offside the call, and they hear do the Blue Jackets from the crowd.
Well, they spend so much time, again, being able to get up ice, setting up through their entries, and they try to do it with speed. How many times you see that back pass and then feeding along the wall where you have a little bit of support, you get a couple of guys freelancing by themselves, and then it looks like a dog's breakfast.
Seven minutes, 52 seconds left. Ryan Murray flips a backhand for Letestu. Mark Letestu with Foligno in front. Thrown into the paint, and Mathot sweeps it to the wall. Ryan Murray Jackets Foligno. Umberger in that slot, redirected. The alert play there of Greening, sending it down the ice, and Murray back to play. 20 seconds left on the Jackets power play. Fresh legs come on for the Senators on the kill. Murray for Letestu at the line. Looking for Foligno in the corner. Down to 11 seconds. Up high, Nikitin unable to control that puck. Condra, cross ice. And Greiba able to hammer it down. 1 second left in the Smith penalty. He'll step out. Jackets fail to score.
Well, that's going to inflate the penalty kill for the Ottawa Senators, which will run through 5-on-5 right now. Watch the energy coming back. That's where the Jackets certainly have to come out and match it.
Ryan sends it up high for Carlson. Pressured there. And now Horton's going to the box. Tripping. He was reaching for the puck, and Horton's going. And a power play will be the 4th for Ottawa.
Seeing Walsh making that call, you see the stick right in between the legs of Carlson. And that is a no-brainer. So right away, the Ottawa Senators have their opportunity. The Jackets have done a nice job the last couple of times. Good work in their own zone, being able to pressure. Now they want to be able to turn the table.
From the faceoff, this is Carlson. A pair of goals against the Jackets in the season series. 1 power play goal. Actually, you can credit Carlson with 3 goals in the season series.
It's something else. Power play points, 3 goals, 21 assists. And shoot the puck. I like Denny's comments about how strong his legs are, which makes him the player and the skater that he is.
Hammered around the boards. Carlson unable to get a stick on it. It sailed the length of the ice. 6:40 left. Minute 45 of the power play. Jackets aggressively pursue that puck. McKenzie and Isimov up front. Jack Johnson paired with Tootin. This is Carlson. Deals it on the right wing for Turris. Turris sends it wide. Jack Johnson's on it. Gets it ahead. Anisimov hands to McKenzie. 1 man back. And that's Carlson. McKenzie fires. Gloved, and Anderson must hang on.
Well, a nice job by McKenzie. And again, Anisimov letting McKenzie have that puck through the neutral zone. And what does he do? He continues to keep the legs moving. He turns it. You can see Anisimov standing still, and he tries to play catch-up. But in the meantime, McKenzie, he gets an opportunity to shoot it on net, force the goaltender to play it. You never know. But in the meantime, you've got a face-off to the glove side.
Calvert, Letestu work up front. Jack Johnson, Tootin paired on the point. Ceci. Cross ice pass, carrying in Zibanejad with a shot that sails wide of the net. Wierkosh on for Ceci. Wrists it, and he too is wide. DaCosta, who has scored both Ottawa goals. Up high, throws it back to the point. Ceci had moved up. And that forces the Senators back to neutral ice. They come quickly. DaCosta across the line. Backhands. Letestu's on it. And he'll clear it down into Ottawa territory. 42 seconds remain in the penalty to Horton.
Well, you've got Umberger coming back out onto the ice along with Dubinsky. Let's watch the pressure.
Wierkosh steps to center. Left wing feed offside.
Well, a nice job by the defense to be able to step up at that line, force the issue a little bit, force Ottawa to either dump it or, in this case, try to make a perfect pass. There's James Wisniewski. Tonight, goal and an assist. That power play goal, 6-16. 2 power play goals tonight for the Jackets. Jeff, you've given the statistics, but the big key, and it all evolves around his shot and what he's able to do.
Well, how about this? With the 2 power play goals tonight, the Jackets have now scored 6 against the Senators, and that's 6 of their 7 goals in the season series have come on the power play. And when the Jackets played the Senators earlier on in the season, the power play was not as effective as it has been through the month of January. This one sent off the netting on the deflection. 14 seconds remain. Spezza going high. As we mentioned, Spezza has struggled at even strength. His last 3 goals have been on the power play. And those 3 goals have come in 25 games.
Look at that play, though, by Carlson. Lay it back into space. You got a head of speed coming up. Spezza's got the good quick release. The Jackets do a nice job of getting the sticks involved.
He wins the draw. Carlson onto Mathot, lets it fly. Blocked in front. Greening looks off the skate of Tootin and into the net. 6 seconds remain on the power play, and from the scramble in front, the Senators have regained the lead.
That's where it all starts. We'll take a look at the face-off. Ottawa right now, they are in the top 10 in the league in face-off wins, and they win that one clean against Dubinsky. Shot being taken, and then all begins there with a little force, and then Spezza stays on top of it at the top of the crease. McCulloch, he's covering the back door in hopes that it may get through, but as it goes off of Tootin's stick, right to Spezza, that's a no-brainer. That makes it a 3-2 hockey game. Power play goal for the Ottawa Senators.
And again, Spezza on the power play. Puck dumped in, far side. Greiba finishing a check. Umberger unable to make the play. MacArthur sends it wide from the right wing. Turris can't get a shot away. Johansson carries in. MacArthur losing his stick. Jackets unable to keep it in. Kicked ahead by Greiba. Foligno missing with a hit. Ryan Johansson moving in. MacArthur all over Johansson, who gets right back on his feet. Great work there by Johansson. Wisniewski hands to Atkinson. Try to hold off. Chris Neal carried in by Smith. Atkinson was pinned. Crowd looking for a penalty call. Jackets shovel it out. Carlson on for Zach Smith. Jackets on the turnover. Atkinson carries in. Atkinson, one-timer. And McKenzie missing the mark. Here's Nikitin. Floats it to the front of the net. Carlson defends. Slips and falls. Jackets Matt Calvert. Calvert keeps the feet moving. Off Atkinson. Played by Greening. Spezza with the goal. Greening and Mathot draw the assists. And play is called with 3:31 remaining. Smith and McKenzie separated.
The same philosophy, and where they are right now in the standings, again, they've gained quite a bit. And again, this is coming from Paul McLean. We've gained quite a bit in our efforts to be able to climb the ladder. We work so hard. We're playing there, but we're still not where we need to be. Now, that could be reiterated by Todd Richards. But both coaches right now trying to get the most out of their players. And right now, the Ottawa Senators with a 1-goal lead. The Jackets have to find a little resolve with the fans involved here at Nationwide Arena.
3:31 left. Third period regulation time. Carlson on to Bobby Ryan. The zone is clear. Tootin is on it. Jackets rifle it right back into Ottawa territory. Anderson on to Carlson. Right wing Ryan. Ryan for Turris. Left wing. It's MacArthur. Gets caught up in his skates. Nikitin steps up. Bouncing puck. Sails cross ice, and Tootin finds Matt Calvert. Calvert spins, turns, lost the puck. Zone cleared. Ryan, with Tootin defending, will just sweep in and then race off to the bench. Less than 3 minutes left. Feder Tootin. Ryan Johansson looking for R.J. Umberger, but offside the call. Well, the Blue Jackets come right back here Thursday night. Another Metropolitan Division rival. This time, the Washington Capitals return for the second time this month. Jackets will again look to defeat Ovechkin and the Capitals Thursday. A spirited affair the last time they met. You can expect much the same. All the coverage begins at 6:30 with Blue Jackets Live. Jack Johnson across the line. Fights off the check. And it's turned aside there by Craig Anderson. Puck sent out of the zone. Zach Smith looking for the handle. The Testu pressuring. Carried through. Chris Neal. Neal taken wide by Jack Johnson. Wisniewski. Moved ahead. Letestu, Umberger, Foligno. Across the line, and it's deflected off the stick of Foligno and out of play. Big lots, big play.
Go back to 6:16. Period number 3, the Jackets trailed 2-1. And right there, that shot by Wisniewski. Good screen by Calvert down in front of the net. Made it a 2-2 hockey game. And currently trail it 3-2.
Dubinsky, Anisimov, Horton, Tootin, and Ryan Murray. Murray floats one in, deflected wide. Off the wall, Spezza. Jackets come up with it. Horton trying to pull the trigger. Zibanejad got a stick on it. Horton knocked down by that hit. But Carlson got the worst of it. Anisimov drops it back. Less than 2 minutes left. Ryan Murray. Dubinsky walks to the net. Denied. Loose. Puck in front. Jackets can't pull the trigger. Tootin. Spezza able to clear as he hammers it away from Tootin. Jackets will look to get McElhaney out of the net for the extra attacker. McElhaney makes his way to the hash mark. Feder Tootin, less than 90 seconds left. Long stretch pass there. And called by Rasico.
Boy, I'll tell you what, there should be a little conversation right there. You see the referee saying that it was the far winger on the right side, or far defenseman on the right side, that was just ahead of Calvert, who looked like he had a head of steam. With the hybrid icing, moves the puck all the way back to the stick side of McElhaney.
1:22 left on the clock. Jackets in this third period playing with a sense of urgency we were looking for from the opening whistle. Matt Calvert dumps in. Out of the net comes McElhaney. 6 skaters on. Calvert's lost his stick. Jackets in the slot. Foligno's shot is blocked. Gryba finishing a check there on Calvert, who goes down. Less than a minute to go. Calvert slow to get up. Calvert sends it off the skate of Anderson. Shot in front. Umberger reached for it. Could not get a stick on it. Jackets deep in the zone. Umberger. Gryba defends. Throw to the point here for Wisniewski. All kinds of traffic in front. There's the shot. Foligno got a stick on it, but it still sailed wide of the net. R.J. Umberger on for Foligno. Wisniewski up high. Calvert camped in front. Here's Foligno. Fires. Saved by Anderson. Wisniewski. Atkinson knocked down Foligno. MacArthur on to Turris. Bobby Ryan hustling into the zone. Jackets get back. Here's Turris. And Wisniewski got a stick on it. Final 10 seconds. Bobby Ryan with a shot. That's blocked by Atkinson. Wisniewski on there to Cowan. Off the goalpost. And that will do it. The Blue Jackets fall for the third straight game. The Senators, who had lost 4 of their previous 5, defeat the Jackets to win the season series 2-1. The Blue Jackets, as we mentioned, now 3 straight defeats and prepare for Washington on Thursday. 3-2 the final. Jackets come off the deck to score twice, but the Senators win on a power play goal.